Oh, I can already tell you, the comment section on this video is probably going to be a mess. And I ask that you try your best to be respectful and understand my point is not that Call of Duty is better than Battlefield. That's irrelevant. I don't care about Call of Duty just as much as I don't really care about Battlefield, you know? I care about what I find enjoyable. I find one game mode in COD fun. One game mode. I think it's a pretty hard sell that I'm like the biggest COD fan out there. I don't get invited to anything. I constantly say they mess up. I am extremely critical of them. But I'm also going to be critical of Battlefield with the things that I think they made mistakes on. I think the game is good. Does it do anything that other Battlefields haven't? I'm not sure. I don't feel like it does. I feel like I haven't played a lot of Battlefields for a lot of time, except for Battlefield Bad Company 2, which I put a lot of time into, but that was so long ago, right? And the game drastically changed since then. So I don't have a great point of comparison as a near future game or like a recent game, right? And so I don't think that this Battlefield did anything that was revolutionary to the Battlefield franchise, except maybe their Battle Royale mode, which isn't out yet. They did make Battle Royale 6 or 7 years ago called Firestorm. This is Firestorm 2 they're coming out with now. And that's mainly the reason I wanted to try this game. Firestorm and one of their smaller game modes called Strike Point, which is 4v4 one life mode. I am not a huge conquest, breakthrough, attack and defend enjoyer. It does nothing for me. I understand that is what Battlefield is, and my critique is not about those modes or anything. I understand that's what Battlefield players like. They like the vehicle warfare. They like those big scale modes. I don't. So I mainly wanted to play Battlefield to experience the 4v4 one life mode and their Battle Royale. Now those are, to me, my interests. It's not what I think is good or bad about the game. It's just what I am looking forward to. All right. I ask that if you watch this as a Battlefield player, you don't be a dickhead and you try to explain your point if you disagree in a respectful and understandable way. I think that's pretty good. If you can't, well, not much I can do about it really, but it just shows who you are as a person. Let's go on to the first thing. Slow weapon leveling. I tweeted this out, and I'm going to be honest, there was a shitstorm. Like, it was just, I can't believe the COD brain rot, yada, yada, yada. He just wants instant gratification, yada, 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 yada. I want to break this down for you. I play games for a living. My job. If I am telling you that it takes a bit longer than it should to level a weapon, you can probably trust that it takes a pretty good amount of time. If it is not your job, I am highly doubtful that you will ever get all of the guns in Battlefield leveled up. Highly doubtful. Extremely doubtful. I'm guessing almost none of you will. And here's why. For my skill level, which is above average in shooting games, for sure, undeniable, I have a 3 KD in Battlefield right now. Not super impressive, and there are people that are better than me, for sure. And I play the objective. I go for reses. I'm trying to win the game. But I still maintain a 3 KD while I do it, which is not bad. Not insane, but not bad. I've been playing solo the entire time, so it's not like I have a squad I'm playing with that are resing me and stuff. But it is taking me 15 to 16 hours to level a gun to max, while being near the top of my team in almost every match that I play. Understand? 15 to 16 hours. Now, if you are my skill level, expect about the same. If you're better, maybe a little bit shorter, 13, 14 hours. If you are average or worse than average, it's going to take you 17 to 20 hours per weapon. 17 to 20 hours per weapon. Do you know how many weapons in the game? So I went and counted this to make sure. 43 weapons. Not including any DLC guns in the game. Nothing at all. I understand that Battlefield is not meant to be a one-year game like COD is. Totally get that. Neither was Delta Force, which is all I've been playing lately. And if honestly I'm comparing Battlefield to anything, it's to Delta Force. And some of you guys might not like Delta. That's fine. I think it's pretty good. I got 140 hours in-game time just in their large-scale modes. I think they did a pretty good job with it. And they are different. I understand they're different. But 43 weapons in the game at my skill level at 15 hours per weapon is 630 hours. That means at my skill level, it is going to take 26 days played in the game just to level the base weapons of what were released in the game, not including a single DLC weapon. If you're a little bit below average skill level, that is 30 to 33 or 4 days played for the base weapons. I have a hard time believing there are any casual, even semi-non-casual, people that play rather consistently, players that are going to max every gun in the game at that speed. That is ridiculous. Quick calculator, I'm curious actually. If you played 2 hours a night, let's say you played 2 hours a night every night, it's going to take you 315 days to get every regular weapon leveled up. Almost an entire year if you played every single day. Holidays, everything. That's a lot. I don't think there's anyone that's going to disagree with me on that. That is a lot of time played. And to me, weapon leveling is not the game. It's part of the game, but it's not the game. If you level your guns and then you quit the second you're done, that's ridiculous. I think using the weapons at or around max level is what makes the game fun. It's part of what makes the game fun. If the game has terrible gunplay, terrible maps, it's not fun either way, but that's not Battlefield. I think it's fine. Both those points are fine. But, I mean, come on. You really want to tell me that you think 630 hours is an okay amount of time? I would assume that if I could spend 7-8 hours leveling a gun, I should have that gun max level. That's a full-time job if you spent 8 hours in a day leveling a weapon and you didn't get it there. Come on. So I drastically think they should reduce the time to level a weapon. Not 4 hours, 5 hours, but 8, 9 hours, 10 hours. Cut down 30% of it. With the amount of weapons in the game, especially with DLC weapons going to be added to the game, I think that's a route they should go, personally. Moving past that, and I understand that this is a point of contention with the community, I think Bloom is fucking terrible. But I also had one of the Battlefield players explain to me that in 2042, they tried no Bloom, and it was bad. Because people absolutely laser you. Which is what I said actually on stream. I was laughing because I was like, oh, that's kind of why I thought they had Bloom. I didn't know the lore behind it, the story. But Bloom, if you don't know what Bloom is, essentially, because there's some people that don't, where you're aiming is not where the bullet's going to go. There is a random factor. It's kind of like hipfire in Call of Duty, where if I'm trying to compare it to COD because that's what the COD dudes would understand. But essentially, if you are aiming at a certain location and you are full autoing reduces the precision of the gun. I say precision because that's the stat they have on the gun sheet. And the bullets will not go exactly where you're aiming. To counter that, to make things go more accurately, you need to burst fire or tap fire the weapon. I get that, I understand. I don't love it though. I don't like being punished because I have good aim. I just don't think that's how an FPS should work. But I also understand that if you allow people to full auto and shoot and aim where they're aiming, on a game like Battlefield where there's a lot of large open lines of sight that you're trying to cross, you are dying every time. You're going to get lasered out, and that's why they have Bloom. And it makes sense. So I will concede the point of Bloom purely because I also understand that kill time can be too fast if you are too accurate. And so they don't reduce the kill time by making it harder and more tanky of players, like giving you more health. They reduce it by making you be less accurate and it forces you to slow down your fire rate, essentially. So, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I don't love it. which is why I ended up sniping a bit, because like, hey, my bullets go where I'm aiming. That's awesome, and I can aim pretty well. But I also understand that, hey, if I use an LMG with higher precision, and I was, first off, the Bloom was pissing me off mainly with the first couple rifles. Those things fucking suck, precision-wise. If you're using SMGs or LMGs, it's fucking good. They're pretty good. But the first rifles, my God, they were bad. So, moving past the Bloom, though. Understandable. I think it's okay to keep the Bloom in the game. I get it. I understand that it's a necessary evil to make the game playable. So, the campaign in Battlefield. I have not played it. I have heard only bad things, unfortunately. Most of my friends who did complete it say it wasn't that great, at least maybe just ending wise, but it wasn't good. The story was good, but then it ended up being bad. The reviews from game reviewers as well was also not positive. They said the multiplayer was great, but the campaign left a lot to be desired, which surprises me because Battlefield, if anything, should be a pretty good storytelling game, but I guess they messed up somehow. So if you have played the campaign, feel free to leave a comment. Maybe they're wrong, or maybe they have the wrong take on it. Up to you, of course. I haven't played it yet. I'm not a big campaign gamer. I play them on single player games, but whenever I have a multiplayer game, I'm usually playing multiplayer. Going next to this, I hope that we can all agree on one point. The UI in this game is terrible. It is terrible. And it's terrible because they did the same fucking thing Call of Duty did. They hired the same Hulu guy, I swear. It's horizontal, and you have to cycle through stuff to find things that you want. It's just, can game developers understand that vertical is the way? It's the way. It's easier to fit more on the screen, it seems, and on top of it, it's just what has worked for many years. The horizontal menu has fucked so many games lately, and it just makes things more annoying to navigate because you have to cycle over and cycle over, and then you go past, you gotta cycle back, and it's like, it's stupid. You can't see all the game modes in one list because you have to cycle over. It's just, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. There's nothing good to say about that at all. I will not say a single positive thing about the UI. I won't. Moving on past the UI though, the settings. The settings page is just, it's not as bad. It's not horizontal. It is vertical like settings should be, but it's convoluted. The settings have they have the same settings in 3 or 4 different areas. Like infantry aim sensitivity, I'm not joking, is in 3 different areas. And it's the same number, thankfully now, but why is it in 3 different areas? You're just adding stuff to add stuff, and there's no search function, which might not seem like a big deal, but there's a lot of settings in Battlefield, and not just Battlefield, Call of Duty too. A lot of shooting games nowadays are putting a lot of settings into the game, whether it's camera shake or, you know, obviously you have the usual ones: weapon blur, motion, world blur, motion blur, whatever, V-Sync. You know, there's the typical stuff, which you would expect to find in certain areas, but there's a lot of stuff in the game, and frankly, I think a search function would make it a little bit better. The only saving grace about the settings page is that once you have your settings dialed in, you don't touch them anymore. But, at least on PC, on mouse and key, it's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours of putting settings together and tinkering with stuff until you get them where you don't want them to be. So, yeah, I don't know. The settings page is not the greatest. The UI is definitely not the greatest. But that's my little critique there. I don't know how you fix the settings page other than adding a search function. The UI itself is really easy. Don't go horizontal, go vertical. I mean, you did it in the past Battlefield games. Just do that again. That's not hard. Anyways, the movement. They slowed down the movement from the beta. Really not that noticeable. I know a lot of people were freaking out about that. I think it was fine. Totally fine. Had no issues, had no complaints. One small change, I guess, it kind of relates to movement, but it's not movement, is the knife. I don't like that I have to hold the knife key to pull the knife out. Because if you press it, you just automatically try to knife. I just want to pull the knife out so I can run real quick for like a second. Because you're trying to like get around a wall real fast so they don't shoot you, whatever it might be. You're trying to break line of sight and get into a cover position for a second. You try to pull the knife out so you have a speed boost, and you have to hold the key for half a second. That extra half a second of waiting for the knife to come out is enough time for the player to kill you. So I would like it if I could just equip the knife instantly and then run behind the cover. I'm not trying to knife a player at any point in that. I'm not even looking at the player. I'm just trying to get behind the cover. So it's kind of related to movement just because, like I said, it affects your movement, but it's not really movement at all. So, yeah, and that's just one little thing that was like, hey, that'd be nice because I have no intention of knifing somebody. I'm not even looking at them. I just want to equip it so I get the speed boost for half a second or a second, and then I can break line of sight and I'm out, you know? But maybe that's a stupid take from you guys. I don't know. Class balance. Whew, this is going to be a rough one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know on this. This is going to be weird. I might be totally off on this. You guys can let me know. Medic is still insanely OP as it is in every Battlefield game. I understand a lot of what they give Medic, but some stuff doesn't make sense. So giving Medic smokes because they go for reses, I get that. But they pretty much also have everything. So better class balance would be nice. And what I mean by that is Medic has the defib for the res. Obviously what they need that, very good. The smoke to give them cover for reses, also good. They also have the ammo because they're the support class, not the medic. They support by giving ammo. They have LMG proficiency, which is weird because it's a medic. Why the fuck are they holding an LMG? But at the same time, LMGs are cracked in this game, so it's kind of ridiculous. They also have the supply pouch, which is good. The deployable cover, which is good. The medic is just all around insane. And you're going to understand that in a second here when I explain that, you know, engineers, who you would think would be the LMG proficiency class, are the SMG proficiency class, which, not the worst, but at the same time, NG just is bad. And the reason they're bad is because they're good class to have on your team, but they don't reward you for playing NG, which they should. You are a valuable team asset. Fucking, I love you. Get rid of the tanks for me. I love you. But when you take out a tank, I killed one last night. I played NG for a little bit. I killed a tank. It gave me 450 score. That's with the kill of the tank driver. It's like, dude, that's like 2 kills. You're giving me the equivalent score of 2 kills or 3 kills, or the equivalent of standing in a capture point for 8 seconds for taking out a fucking tank? They need to give more score and more value to removing vehicles. So if you're playing it, because the NG doesn't have much else, really. They got their anti-vehicle shit, their mine, their launcher. They don't have a proficiency in a great gun. SMGs are just, they're okay. The real benefit of NG is that if you pick a vehicle, you get the self-heal, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's great, really good. But they should also give engineers who are not in vehicles value by giving them a little bit more score, maybe bonus score to NGs if they remove vehicles. And it doesn't have to be insane, but like, you know, extra 200-300, 650 for a tank kill, 750. I mean, come on. I know tanks they're not invincible, but like, it seems that they're just not valuing the vehicle destruction that much. Where if you go play Delta, and I say this because in Delta, you get points based off of the streak that the player in the vehicle is on. So if you destroy a tank, you might get 1,000 points. If you destroy a tank on a big streak, you might get 3,000-4,000 points. If they're like a 40 kill streak, you know. So yeah, I'm just saying, I feel like engineer is extremely valuable, and they don't get the respect they deserve, and people aren't picking them as often as they should because they can't really get score. And I know that people are saying score doesn't, I mean, maybe you don't think score matters, but that's XP. If engineers are just naturally really slow to level up because they're not getting any, you know, XP, they're not going to pick it. Not really. They don't have the great weapon proficiency either. SMGs aren't bad, but like it's hip fire. It's not great, whatever. So engineers, I would give them a bit more bonus score for taking out vehicles. They deserve it. I told you about medic already. Recon is pretty good. Actually, I think I liked Recon. Losing the spawn beacon kind of sucks though. It makes it so if you're going to be picking Recon, you kind of have to be a duo. As a solo Recon player, I was like running around. I'd get good flanks off here and there when I could. By using my little drone, I'd drone up and I'd see where people were and I'd position myself in a good spot. I'd get a good side angle on them. And I'd kill maybe 3, 4, 5, but then they'd send enough people at me, they'd get me. Without a friend to res me, or another player around there to help me fend off the horde, it doesn't, you know, it's hard to make work. And you can't spawn back on that spot because the beacon's not there anymore. You don't have it. So, yeah, it kind of means you have to snipe it as a duo or move as a duo. which is a little weird for the recon class because this doesn't fit recon that well. The C4s are very good, but I don't have them unlocked yet, unfortunately. I wish I could get them unlocked. I'm still working on that. Either way, the drone is still good too. The drone, I was having fun with that. Good for XP, good for helping your teammates, good for marking people. The recon class actually was owning. I mean, fucking owning. In terms of assists, I know snipers get a bad rap, and I totally agree with you, especially with Delta Force snipers. Those motherfuckers are never helping. I try to be pushed up as far as I can, remove people from objectives, go capture objectives if I can as well. But yeah, recon is not the best close range. Not the best close range. So, lastly, what was it? Assault. Assault, dude. Assault starts off pretty shit. Can we agree that the stim is not that useful? They don't have smokes, which I could have sworn they had smokes in the beta, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Assault should be given smokes because they can't push up the field without them. And now Assault has the spawn beacon, which is very good, but it's like way down the tree. So it takes a long time to get to that point, I feel like. So early on, Assault is pretty bad. They have the rifle proficiency, I think, and rifles are bad as well until you get the 5.56 SCAR. In my opinion, that rifle's pretty fucking good. But the other rifles have very low precision, which means they're not very accurate. Even when you're trying to full auto from like 20 feet, you're still missing like 10 bullets. So I wasn't happy with Assault and where they're sitting right now. It seems that you are way better off either running Recon to try to pick people off and remove them, or you run Medic with LMGs and Burst Fire. I mean, it's like, that is the go-to. So, the last thing I want to talk about, besides the class balance, is the map design. I know that every game has good and bad maps. I agree that Battlefield has some good ones, but man, I play some maps in this game, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It is wide open fields with very low cover, and there's not enough smokes, because the only Medic has them, to push up. And so, yeah, I don't... They should either add a little bit more cover on the outskirts so you can properly get side angles and then apply pressure so the front can move up a bit, or they need to give Assault, like I said, smoke grenades to provide cover for people so they can move up more. Either that, or your team is going to be comprised of maybe 5 recons and 25 medics. Because if they can't move up any other way other than using smoke grenades, your only option is to play one guy. Which that's again, goes back to the class balance thing. So, I think that wraps up the feedback I had. Again, game is pretty good. I'm not a huge, large-scale mode enjoyer, so I'm still looking forward to the battle, or the Firestorm and the Strike Point side of it, but I hope you guys are enjoying the game. If you agree with some of this, awesome. If you disagree, okay, but explain why, and do it in a way that isn't an asshole move, right? Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. I don't think I talked for the whole thing. Either way, I have a lot of gameplay I was putting together because I was having fun with some burst fire guns here and there. And the sniper is a lot of fun. Dude, sniping right now is insane in the game. Very fun, very good. Love the headshot sound. Ding! Love it. Enjoy. Thank you guys for watching.